All right, y'all. So I want to talk to you about one of the things that me, along with every other spiritual worker, gets asked about more frequently than you would even imagine. I mean, there are a lot of people who claim to not be into all that woo-woo stuff, and they'll still ask this question. And that question is, am I cursed? Oh, Lord. There is no other potential gold mine for unscrupulous spiritual workers as the whole am I cursed thing. Because the unscrupulous ones say, yeah, you're cursed. They tell you that every time. And then they tell you for $500, I'll take the curse off you. All right. So when someone comes to me and says, I think I'm cursed, 95% of the time, that person is just all tangled up in their own spiritual underpants. You're kind of setting yourself up in a situation where you're banging your head against a brick wall and not really listening to your guides or the universe or reality. But, you know, curses are real. They do happen. So I try to diagnose and I say, all right, first of all, tell me about your social group. Tell me about your family, where you're from. Because cursing is specific. It's a specific kind of work. You have to know how to do it. And it takes prolonged, repetitive action. You know? There's the evil eye curse, which can be kind of a jealousy thing. People can throw the evil eye at you without really knowing what they're doing. But other than that, if somebody is like really trying to mess up your life, they got to do a lot of stuff and they got to do it over a prolonged period of time. And if they're any good at it, you won't know that it's them doing it because it's staggered. It's not overt. So I ask them, I say, all right, well, tell me, are you friends with a lot of people who know how to curse, right? Now, that doesn't necessarily mean people that are witches. Because, hell, if you look at the Bible, yeah, go read Psalm 35 and tell me that's not a curse. There are plenty of Christians who curse. And they may not call it that, but it's what they're doing. If they come from a family that's from the South or from the Appalachias, you know, and somebody's passed away and there's some kind of inheritance dispute, I will take, you know, curse into consideration. The other question that I ask is, do you have anybody in your life that would shoot you if they were holding a gun and we were in that Purge movie and they weren't going to get penalized for it? Is there any enemy that you have that would pull the trigger on you in that situation? If they say yes, then that's a consideration. The third question, and this one is hard. This is one of those ones that's like, okay, you got to be real honest with yourself. Did you do something to someone that justifies retaliation or harm? Because here's the thing about cursing. And whether I'm teaching someone how to do it or trying to help somebody get out of it, cursing without justification, not only is it 200 times harder, it is rarely effective. You know, somebody might stub their toe a few times or they might have some hiccups in their day, but a real curse that's gonna do real damage. What have I told you about magic, right? You're making contracts with spirits. Now, spirits, they don't take every contract. The ones that do take every contract, you kind of have to know what you're doing to get at, which takes you back to question number 1. If you know people that know how to summon demons and know how to work with unscrupulous spiritual entities, then yeah, we'll look at if you're cursed. Most spirits will help you with malicious magic if you're justified. If you're justified, your own ancestors will help you. It's not hard to find a spirit that will help carry out justified work to stop or send back things that an individual has done to you that is wrong. So that's my third question is, did you do something bad? Did you do something that a reasonable person or a reasonable spirit would consider justified for hitting you back? And yeah, that one is harder for people to really look at. It takes a lot of self-reflection. The people that do things that justify cursing and retaliation aren't always that into self-reflection in general. So there are those 3 questions. If the answers to those questions indicate that this person is in a situation that might, then I will investigate if it's a curse. But most of the time, no. Most of the time, it is that you have made decisions, that you are trying to force something, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a job, money, love, luck, and you're hitting a wall and you just won't stop. And then you think everything is going wrong, but it's really that you're putting your energy into a direction that's not good for you. When my children were toddlers, they wanted to open every drawer. They wanted to pull out everything inside. And sometimes, whatever was in that drawer, whether it was pesticides or knives or whatever, was not good for them. So I'd hold it shut. And when I would hold it shut, they would kick and scream and thrash and throw themselves on the ground and act like it was the end of the world, because they didn't know that I was looking out for them. And of course, in those situations, the only thing that mattered to them was getting in that drawer. So it felt like I was really hurting them, but they just didn't have the perspective to know that that's just not for you. They had growing up to do. 95% of the time, this is what's actually going on when you think you're cursed. Life, the universe, God, your guides, your contractual karmic agreements are saying no. Knowing magic doesn't mean that you always get a yes. So, anyway, that is my little ramble on cursing. I hope y'all are doing good, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye now.